Hey everybody, my name's Ethan, and this is...
Oh, I'm supposed to introduce myself. Well, hello there! My name is Mikael Khan-Leite. Hope you're all doing good.
So yeah, this is a collaboration to bring it to you guys today, talking about some expectations that we'd have, or things that we'd really like to see in the upcoming Avengers project, you know, just because it's, you know, just over a year away. And probably a good time to start talking about, you know, things that we'd want to see in it, and things that they hopefully do.
Yeah, definitely. Like, with the demos and the clips and the suits that they've been showing, there's definitely lots of stuff to talk about. And, you know, yeah, like I said, lots of stuff to talk about considering also it's, well, half a year from release now, you might say? No, a little over half a year from release. So there's still lots to be shown, lots to expect, and let's talk a little about that.
Well, I mean, first off, with the demo, did the demo get you excited when you saw it?
Yes, a little bit. Like, it really feels like the movies, which I love. Lots of action happening at the same time. It feels quite detailed often, like with the explosions and... Yeah, again, like big superhero, like I have a big kink for blockbuster set pieces in games, so that's what I'm trying to say. But some characters, yeah, their models might have to be improved and stuff. But like for the most part, the like effects and the graphics look pretty good, especially on like, for example, like armors and suits. And I'm pretty sure with the feedback, they'll keep upgrading like the looks of the characters, like the character models and the suits. And of course the choppiness, because lots of people said that the choppiness and some stuff looks stiff, but of course hopefully by the time it releases they will make that good. Some gripes I had were that some stuff seemed repetitive, especially some animation, especially Thor. His hand-to-hand combat without his hammer looked quite repetitive. Like it was the same combo over and over, I'd have to say. Just a little bit tedious. But other than that, each character has their own style, which I really love. Thor is really like strong. He's a really big heavy hitter, not too fast, but just enough. And you have that good strength. So those of you who have played God of War, I really need to play that game, by the way, will really feel. I feel especially with the Mjolnir mechanics, just like the Leviathan axe. Black Widow is really fast and agile, and some people might relate to her, like compare her more with Spiderman, which is understandable. Iron Man, which is probably one of my favorites, I really can't wait to play as him, really has that ground and air level, and because of all his armor, not his armor, his weapons and stuff, you really feel like you're always one step ahead, and just the way he plays is awesome. The flight mechanics, his animations are cool. Hulk obviously looks one of the best because his gameplay is mostly finished. And like the parkour he does, the absolute annihilating like fatalities he does on enemies are hilariously brutal, which we'll probably have the most fun out of. And yeah, he might be fun, especially in multiplayer. I can't wait to see what people do to mess around with him in multiplayer. And the last one, Captain America, we really didn't see a lot of him, but I feel like there's a lot still that we can see of him, especially with his shield. There's lots to do with his shield. He might be, again, more like Kratos from God of War when it comes to like throwable mechanics.
He reminded me more of like Batman Arkham kind of.
Yeah, actually, yeah. That's actually a good point. Like especially his combos and how tactical he is. But his gameplay looked kind of good. There's just something about it. It feels good. Maybe he feels a little overpowered, considering he was just KOing, knocking guys out with his shield, like with one hit. Maybe it's just on easy mode, and that's just a personal gripe of mine. But other than that, gameplay looks pretty good. Again, a little stiff. Maybe some stuff could look better, but other than that, I'm really excited to... Well, you know what? Let's go on to that after. So what are your thoughts on the demo?
I mean, I was really excited when I saw the demo. Like, it looked... Like, it got me really excited. I remember I woke up and I was going to, like, Daytona that morning, and I was just super amped. I was just to wake up and see it. Like, finally, just to show what they've been working on. And I like how it shows how each character plays so differently. I'm there with you on the choppiness. I can definitely see that, especially with the Black Widow first character. Oh my gosh, like, hers was so choppy, the gameplay for it, and like every punch that she threw, it just looked like it was just
weightless.
Yeah, it looked really bad. But I mean,
Yes.
I hope it's not repetitive and linear. Kind of like I do see what you mean with the combos, because like Thor's is like the, you know, just the same 1, 2, 3 hit, and I hope that it's not like that for every single, you know, character. They just have 1, 2, 3, and then like a special attack.
Yeah. And again, like I mentioned before, but this is actually really important when it comes to, especially combat-related games. You need to feel the hits, and some hits really, really didn't feel them. Especially like I watched what's his name, Uncaged Games. I saw his reaction. He especially said that maybe it was just the audio, maybe they just changed the audio, but the sound effects were really low, especially when it came to the impact, and you really need to feel that impact when you're fighting. It's just an important factor in a video game.
No, definitely, 100%. But I mean, overall, I mean, I was really excited to see it. The vibe that it gave me was, it's gonna be a part of like a bigger world, kind of like, you know how Spiderman PS4, they talk about all the other things that are going on in the universe and whatnot, and like I feel like it's gonna be completely immersive, like as much as the MCU is, or just as like reading a comic book. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of the MCU. What are the biggest factors you think they're getting inspired from the MCU, and what big things do you actually want to see taken from the MCU, or at least inspired? Like, what things about the MCU do you really love that you want to see implemented into the game?
I think one of the biggest things that they're going to take away from it is kind of giving people that same interaction, like almost like magic levels of how awesome it is. You know, when the only way I can explain it is that I'm pretty sure they want it to feel like the portal scene while you're playing this game. They want you to feel like that much epicness from, you know, playing this game.
Yeah.
Like just like you're with all like these huge characters and, you know, in these worlds, and you know, it's like the biggest thing I see that push is like, this is a Marvel world. It's not an Iron Man. It's not a Thor world. It's a Marvel world, and there's Marvel things that are going to be going on in it. You know.
Yes. Yeah, a big Marvel thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I gotcha. That's what I see. That one of the biggest things they're going to be pulling from it is, relating to the MCU. That is, you know, just making it like that.
Yeah, MCU big moments. That's what I'm really expecting from this game. Like, just like big superhero games, especially for Spider-Man. I was a little let down from this, but still it had good moments. Big action set pieces, like moving from character to character, like sounds real, just really inspiring. Well, not inspiring, just sounds epic. And it really does feel like the movies. Like, imagine a scene just like the first Avengers movie, when it was going from character to character throughout the Battle of New York, like just chases all around. It was really cool to see. And imagine if you're in control of those characters. It feels just like the movie. Something like that I want to see. And just the great humor, like the balance of humor and action was perfect. And the casting, voice acting. I mean, I have complete faith in the cast. The cast seems amazing.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, they seem like they got a great lineup for it.
Especially Nolan North. Thing is, like, when I'm listening to Iron Man, the only thing I can hear is Nathan Drake. It's very distracting.
Right. The one thing that I did notice about the gameplay, it was like that part where it was when Iron Man was flying, they were trying to implement some quips and stuff, and like they just weren't working for me. It just seemed very dry and very bland. You know what I'm talking about, right? That
yeah.
One he's like shooting down the people and stuff. I don't know, when I saw that, I was like, I hope, I'm pretty sure that it won't be like that when it comes out. I mean, I feel like
you just want some better quips, better inspired.
Right.
I thought the reference to Goose, the cat, was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah. That was. I mean, things that I'd like to see them pull from the MCU and, like, especially implement in Avengers project, I
While I'm
mean,
here, I should
I think
examine the transmitter.
the most
MJ
important thing is just to make it feel epic. Like, they don't want it to feel small. The biggest thing is like, it's gotta feel epic. But, how about open world stuff? You know how, like, they said it's supposed to be an open world game?
Well, it's semi-open world. They've
Like a hub world.
Yes, they're gonna be. If you played the Lego games, or if any of you guys have played the Lego games, it's gonna be like that. They're going to be hub worlds to explore certain locations, and I hope that they're big enough and still have lots of value to them. Like if you complete the main story first, and then you have nothing after. I hope that there's still content for after. Like I get it, there's gonna be lots of multiplayer stuff for years to come and stuff, but still, I just hope that there's still yeah, just extra content, because finishing a game really quick and having nothing after except but to replay it feels a little bit out of place. That's all. And of course, it's understandable, a big Avengers game like this, multiple playable characters, and it's like so big like this, so it's just a little bit understandable, but still at the same time just a little bit I wouldn't say frustrating, but still a little bit of a letdown. Think of it as The Last of Us 2 not having multiplayer.
Right. Think about this. So you know how Iron Man and Thor can fly and whatnot. So
Yeah.
these are supposed to be bigger hub worlds. Our characters like Captain America, Hulk, and Black Widow are going to be able to get around.
Yeah, exactly. It's those questions you.
Right, like is there gonna be like a spawnable like motorcycle or something like that?
Yeah, like Disney Infinity. The biggest thing I was thinking about, like hub worlds, how they gonna get around. The biggest thing that came to mind was Disney Infinity, for some reason. Like you could spawn random cars just so they could run around, and you could pick like any character, just put it on the like toy pad or whatever, and they would just spawn in the game. I don't know. I was just thinking of that, so that's a bit odd.
I mean, cause how boring would that be? Just to be like, you know, Black Widow or Captain America and just walk everywhere in the entire game. They gotta have. I mean, it's not like Spiderman where you can just swing non-stop. They gotta have some sort of way to make it interesting at least.
Yeah. But again, it's understandable. I just wish that there's something that engages us to play it after the main story, except for multiplayer. Because for people who don't have internet, a little bit of a no-no there, if you know what I mean. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like Destiny is a 100%. You have to have internet to play that game.
Ah, yikes.
And
It should track Tombstone
that's one where I think that they do a pretty good job with, you know, providing content and things to do after you finish the main campaign, because they have things for pretty much everybody. There's easy content, there's stuff that's medium, and then there's like things that are really hard and you're gonna need a lot of people to do and know what they're doing. And I hope they can take away a couple things from that and just totally make Avengers Project a game that's, you know, only for like 14-year-olds. I think it's their fan base is, you know,
just gotta follow the signal.
the people that are going to buy the game are probably going to be anywhere from 16 up. The ones that are going to be the ones who are going to buy it. So I think they got to know the demographic of the people that are going to get it and what they're going to want from it. And I think challenging content is going to be something that they should really put in there, because I mean, I don't know, I'm not going to want to play it if it's just going to be super easy.
Yeah.
Somewhat of a challenge.
Yeah, changing the settings is definitely, yeah, like I love playing Spider-Man on, well, any game actually on harder difficulty for my ego. First of all, I'm like, don't lie, it's always for the ego at some point, but also just to prove how good you are at the game. And sometimes it feels like just playing easy just makes you feel like a wimp. I feel like doing it on hard and actually getting good at the game makes you feel proud.
Right. I mean, I don't know, I like having something to kind of like, you know, it's just a challenge. And
yeah,
I mean, there's things that like they could pull like from Destiny and that aspect, and also I'm thinking ways to create like public events that's going on you know, inside the hub worlds naturally, and you know, something that multiple players can all join in on all at once.
Yes. I had this.
So what about?
Sorry. Go ahead. No, never mind.
Okay.
No. I think it was different. It was off topic, I guess. So, what's your next point?
So I'm thinking customization.
Oh, yeah, that's a big factor that I have big expectations for that. I know some of them.
I don't think that they're gonna want, you know, just all the players running around in the world, everybody looking the same.
Yes. Like I don't think they've 100% confirmed this, but come on, like, you've got to have like physical customization to the characters. That's a must.
I've seen some extra skins and stuff, but if they really want to spice it up, I think they gotta put in some deep customization options, you know, like all the way down to choosing specific colors on certain suits, like kind of like Anthem. I mean, I haven't played it yet, but I know what the customization is. You can get very specific to what color you want certain things and how you want it to look.
Yes. Yeah, they've said pieces of gear are coming. So think of it as Injustice 2, which is, in my opinion, the best like suit customization game. At least the best game that has a suit customization kind of thing in it. Like each one looked unique in its own way, had different stats. There would be different levels to them. Like there'd be common, rare, legendary, stuff like that. And of course, each one has different stats, they've said. And I think they said that there will be some in, like there will be different pieces, of course, for like the head, torso, legs, etc. And there will be a set. And I think that set, I don't remember. I saw it in Evan's video, one of his videos, and he said that if you have a specific set, it'll give you a special thing, but you can't change the stats. Only that specific piece of the suitwear, of course, will have a specific stat to it. Something like that. But just the fact that we can change them physically is a win for me, because, of course, multiplayer, you want to have your own unique version of the hero. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I know you said you haven't played God of War, but in God of War, there's a ton. No. So, but like in God of War, there is a ton of different abilities that you can get to just unlock throughout the entire playthrough. And I think that's a huge thing that they can do, especially they have a huge arsenal of what they could go with, like say for Iron Man alone, with all the different kind of weapons that he has, especially with, say if they take them like the nanotech adaptation from the movies and implement that into the game, they could do some really cool things.
Yeah.
Like what are some abilities that you would like them to see, or like
abilities,
something specific
from abilities from the movies implemented,
or just in general, like what is something like
from the from the movies?
Yeah, sure.
Well, okay, I'll probably go from movies and just like in general. So like I said, I really want some cool action sequences, like really smooth transitions between the characters, good humor, good dialogue. I want a good story. They keep saying that the story is going to be one of the biggest parts of this, like the 5-year jump after A Day. Apparently, like in between that time, there's going to be lots of changes to the characters and seeing them like grow, change, whichever. There's gonna be that, and I hope that all of that is like all of what they say is true, right? So.
Right. I think one thing that they could really explore in this, that they only did a little bit with in the movies, is show the characters going on down a dark path, because you know Captain America looks like he dies, and
yeah,
he's kind of like part of the center of the Avengers.
He's one of the biggest reasons they quit.
Nothing puts a pep in my step like
exactly.
halting an illegal
I think, you know, showing Tony going down a dark path, especially because he's one of the most eccentric parts of the group, is showing what the effect that it has on him. And it looks like he's, you know, they're all pretty much giving up, well, almost all of them are giving up, you know, being Iron Man and Thor and all that stuff. So I think showing that affects on the Avengers and show them what they're like disassembled could be a huge point in the story. And
Yeah, I really want lots of character development and stuff.
Let him hurt that victim anymore.
Right. Okay, that's one thing I'm confused on. So it looks like Captain America died.
No, of course he's coming back. He's gotta come back.
Right, how do you think he's coming back?
Well, definitely not time travel, because then they'd be going like into Avengers Endgame territory way too much, because there's already so many similarities between. So I'm going out on a limb here, but who knows, maybe there could be a multiverse put into this story. And multiverse has different versions of the heroes, and maybe those are skins that you can get for the multiplayer. I literally just came up with that. That would be a really smart idea, story-wise, and gives a reason to have all those different suits and versions for the multiplayer. It actually makes sense. I literally just came up with that. So maybe that they get a different Captain America. Or maybe, of course, he wasn't dead. They just assumed that, and he wanted to stay dead for maybe important mission reasons. Maybe he went undercover. I guess we'll see. Like, it'd be really cool if they're fighting like this really strong AIM. Yeah, AIM is the bad guy. So, like, they're fighting AIM, and there's this really strong baddie. Baddie you think. And turns out it's actually Cap. He reveals himself, and there could be a really cool emotional scene and stuff. So yeah, maybe that. I think that's my biggest, my most likely, what do you call it? Theory. There you go.
Right. I'm just basing mine purely off of what I saw in the trailer, because it looks like Thor leaves his hammer on Captain America's grave.
Yes, because he does not think he's worthy anymore.
Right. And then if you see in the trailer, the hammer starts to move and kind of like has like some lightning crackles that goes on in it. I mean, so I was wondering, I was like, are they gonna make the hammer bring Captain America back to life? And like, what's gonna happen here?
Yeah, no, of course, like, they're gonna have to reassemble and get all their stuff back, especially Thor. So yeah, that'll probably be in the story when he gets most of his stuff back. When they finally decide to reassemble.
Definitely. I think that there's definitely a lot of things that they aren't showing us. For like stuff they're just trying to keep under wraps and wait for it until it comes out to show people.
Yes.
But I think they're doing a pretty good job with that, because like I'm still questioning it and like what it's gonna be like and whatnot, and they got a lot of time to work on it, and I think that's what they really want to keep the fan base at.
Yes. I think the marketing could use a little more work. Like, some people agree, but I think they're doing a decent job, at least for now. If they reveal a little more stuff and be very diverse with what they show, like, they need to show more different levels, because they've really only been showing the A-Day demo, and people are just expecting a little more. So
No, definitely.
there's that. Yeah, later.
Really
like, it's like Spiderman. Yeah, like Spiderman. So it was revealed at E3, a few little hints until the end of the year, absolutely nothing for half a year. Then there's E3 2018, then Paris Games Week, and then 2018 they showed a little too much stuff, in my opinion. Almost, for Spider-Man. So I feel like it's going to go down a similar path.
Right.
So maybe like that. I just honestly want to see more levels. Like, the levels they've shown with the clips of their finishers. Also, the finishers look really cool. Yeah, they look really cool. Like, there's snowy areas. It looks like they're AIM bases. So I'm really excited to see the types of levels that they make and that we can play in, and how they go with the story. And of course, snow in video games is always a win. So.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me is, like, it has to be good for years to come, like they said it's gonna be. and just having a good challenge in it, and just being able to play it and have it not get stale, keep it fresh and keep it good.
Yeah, precisely. Of course.
I mean, those are all the points that I pretty much wanted to cover talking about this. Is there anything specifically that you wanted to talk about?
Actually, no. I just kind of wanted to see what you had to talk about and then give my ideas on those. Just let me think for a second.
Now I can catch the drone.
Yeah, I can't really. Maybe we can talk a bit about multiplayer. Our hopes for multiplayer.
Okay, so my hopes for that, I mean, like, I don't know how many of my friends are actually going to get it. Probably maybe only like 1 or 2 of them. So I'm probably going to be soloing a lot of this stuff, but I mean, I'd be down to do some matchmaking things and whatnot. And like, I think PvP would be cool. It'd be interesting.
PvP?
Would do it. Yeah,
is that team versus team?
Yeah, if they could pull that off, that would be a lot of fun.
Definitely, yeah. Like, imagine not only playing as the heroes, but also the villains. That would be just too cool.
That would be cool. I'd like to see that. Because, you know, it is always generally the heroes. And, you know, coming up with very specific modes, I think would be pretty cool. So not like the standard, like, team deathmatch, like, you know, as much, like, okay, it's like, yeah, it's fun, but it's like having specific modes to really spice things up. One thing we should really check out, and like something like this, is in Destiny I have this mode called Gambit where you, like, both teams have to take down one big enemy, but you can invade on the other team's side, and if you take them out, it makes the big enemy's health go back up again. So every time you kill one of them, their health goes back up. It's kind of like this back and forth thing, and who can get theirs down first, and also like being able to defend their team from not getting, you know, sniped from the other guys. So
yeah, no, different multiplayer modes is always the best. You can't just have one. That's why I love Uncharted 4 and stuff, because there are different matches with different types of gameplay, and it's just really fun.
the mechanics is so much fun in Uncharted 4.
Yes.
Because you have like that whole rope swing and stuff.
Yeah, if there can be different, like, if there are like environmental stuff or like stuff to help aid you in combat that are character specific, that actually wouldn't be such a dumb idea. Like, maybe this only Thor can do or only Iron Man can do. Like, yeah, it would be kind of in the Lego games and a little bit weird, but it would just add much more to the character and who prefers to use that type of mechanic, which then leads to what character do you main. It's really a lot about that. So
Not gonna lie,
I feel like, and the maps have to be memorable, well designed, and stuff. And of course, everything needs to be balanced. One person, like one player character, can be overpowered, unless of course there's the gear stats. Because the gear stats, why would they be put? Well, actually, I'm a dumbass. It actually would make sense to have the stats be put in single player, actually. Because in multiplayer, maybe some people can get those stats. Well, that happens all the time in Injustice 2, so maybe it can work for both. I don't know why I'm complaining, but yeah, I'm just saying.
Have two different modes, like a competitive and like a standard mode.
Yeah. It was good that you could balance it out as however you wanted. But different modes, yes, different modes like heroes versus villains would be a classic. Maybe races, like yeah, just different modes, and maybe not always about fighting. Maybe it's about speed. Maybe it's about how fast you can get to someplace. Maybe it's about how strategic you can be, and maybe it's only about teamwork. Maybe it's not versus. Again, lots of options. Maybe it's like Uncharted 4 where you can play with buddies, and there's almost like endless hordes of enemies that come and just see how much you can take, you know? So different modes.
Yeah, like a horde mode, that'd be cool.
Because in Uncharted 4 Survival was basically almost like an infinite horde. There were enemies upon enemies. And it was really stressful because...
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was fun.
Yeah, definitely. And you always had to be strategic and careful and stuff, so... But yeah, multiplayer, I think multiplayer is gonna probably sell this game a lot. I mean, what multiplayer doesn't sell?
Right, right. But yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything I was ready to talk about. You know, if say the fan base wants to see more, I'm down to make more of these videos like this. I think the collaboration.
Yeah, if you want to see more Avengers and collabs, just drop that like button and subscribe.
Definitely, definitely. But all right, well thanks for being on today, man. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.
He gon' tear their ass up, simple as that.